are the seeds we buy from Native Seed Search based in Tucson. And so, what did we have in here? We had a lot of corn and walking onion.
So did that seem effective? Like they just creating these little
yeah, catchment basins. Yeah, it was pretty effective. And we also did that over there too with like goat cultures.
What kind of cultures?
Goat culture. It's like you kind of like dig down, fluffing it up, get it all deep, and then you put wood like down there, so it adds like it holds onto the water and like.
Oh, I see. So it like absorbs.
Yeah, and it also like degrades over a longer period of time than most organic matter, so you have like a lot of nutrients locked in there that'll be released over a longer period of time, which is nice. But we've been focusing on mainly squashes near the end of the summer, right? We were doing a lot of squashes and watermelons and beans. Of course, the more storable stuff through the winter. So.
The texture of like water chestnut, right?
Yeah.
So you just straight up eat them?
Ginger.
So these have this compound called inulin that for a long time it was thought to be indigestible and that this is a food that like gives people gas. But now it's regarded as a prebiotic. So in addition to probiotics, there's this group of nutrients that are called prebiotics. Because they're such excellent nourishment, you know, they don't get broken down immediately in the stomach and in the small intestine, but they end up providing a lot of nutrients for bacteria in the large intestines, which is why they make people a little bit gassy, and that they've sometimes been regarded as indigestible, but now they're regarded as these sort of like superfoods that are prebiotic, that are very supportive of you know, important bacterial populations in our intestines.
So how would you ferment these? Where'd they go?
Chase is hiding them like
You can't steal them.
You know how
I need some seed. I need some seed. I need some of this right now.
Wait, so you can't eat them raw?
Yeah,
I want to try one.
Maybe.
All my artichokes.
You could grate these, or slice them thinly and salt them, and then it'd be easy to pull juice out of them. Or if you want to leave them whole, salt them, pull water out of the Jerusalem artichokes themselves. Or you could go ahead and put them in salty water, or you could bury them in other kinds of vegetables. You could, like, you know, you could make sauerkraut and just bury Jerusalem artichokes like little prizes throughout the sauerkraut.
Would you want just enough water just to cover?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you don't, I mean, really, like, in general, when you're mixing up a brine to ferment any kind of a whole vegetables, you want as little water as possible. Like, you know, okay, it's like a critical mass issue. Like if you took a string bean and put it in a bathtub or a swimming pool, it's going to be really hard for the bacteria on that string bean to become dominant in that like much larger environment. Whereas if you stuff a jar with string beans or with Jerusalem artichokes and you cover them with like just the minimum amount of salty water to cover them, then the density of the vegetable matter and all of the microorganisms that are covering them have an easy time, you know, kind of becoming dominant in that environment.
So awesome.
So I mean, these are actually they're not the seed pods; they're the flowers before they open. But yeah, you can totally pickle these. You can eat them. You know, they have, oh my God, that beautiful like peppery flavor. You know, the same flavor that's in the flower after it opens up and that's in the leaves. But it's all these, you know, sort of pre-flower buds. I've played around a little bit with harvesting the grain, but in China they pickle the stalks. So I mean, you can't let it you can't grow it until it's full maturity, or else it gets too woody. But you know, like even after they, at least where I live in Tennessee, you know, they grow pretty big before they get woody, and then you just basically like I cut them into maybe like, you know, 3-4 inch length pieces and just stuff them in a jar and pour a brine over, maybe with a little bit of you know, garlic or chili peppers or something. But then in China they have a name for that. They call that brine after the amaranth has fermented in it a lu. And then at least in Sichuan province they ferment tofu in the lu. So they use this basically to culture the brine that enables them to ferment tofu. Which is something that's cooked, so it doesn't really have its own microbial ecology. I see tons of tomatillos.
Yeah.
Tomatillos!
That need to be harvested, and a lot of green tomatoes over there if anyone wants to do anything with them. We have some root vegetables still, some carrots, some Dijon radishes, borage, which is all over in Chile as well. Like old parking lot sort of thing with like glass everywhere, and it was completely overrun by sunflowers. Anyone in the agroecology class saw all the sunflowers everywhere, so I had to fill that or take a lot of that out. But yeah.
So and all the digging was entirely by hand?
All by hand between the agroecology class, the girl I work with, and myself. So it's all
Actually, the fact that it was overrun with sunflowers was a good thing because the sunflowers helped
aerate
us
the soil
loosen
a bit.
the topsoil a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was hard. It was and it was so hot and dry when that digging was going on. But it was all hand dug, and this has been a very great, wonderful garden thus far. A lot of kales. We did a lot of chard. We had a lot of greens through the summer, which is wonderful.
Oh, nice. Okay, it's the native seed people just gave me some. Oh my God! But they gave me white Tippery beans.
These are all mixed varieties in here.
These are nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I do see this thing that Gary was telling me about how they sort of explode and send the beans flying. Wow, these are beautiful. These ones.
I think you should take some.
It turned out more like you say, everything changes a lot, so.
Oh, it smells great.
I would
To me,
love
it smells better than a cheddar.
It's not like a cheddar.
I mean, a cheddar takes such a long time. You get a square to make a cheddar.
I made it at home and I brought it.
Oh, okay.
But
Who keeps your kitchen clean?
Elizabeth does. Yeah, we have an empty room down there.
Okay, cool.
And then, did you have her soft cheese earlier?
What?
Did you do that? Did you give
I
Sandor
don't
your
think
my goat cheese?
No, I made a chev from his cheese. Here, I'll cut some.
From his milk.
Yeah, from
I
my
made
goats,
from
yeah.
What's this? Purple.
It's like a kimchi slash sauerkraut.
Beets or red cabbage?
It's red cabbage, and on top I put like a layer of turnips to hold it down,
I like that. Plate replacement.
Instead of
Just use food.
So so this really illustrates some of the things we've been talking about. Like this is in a brine, whereas this one is just, has less liquid, but it's all from the vegetables.
This is so exciting. Flavor cactus tasting by experiment. Let's try some.
These are big pieces.
I'll split one. It just keeps getting further.
This is a goat. It's a goat, or was a cheddar, but it's kind of like my own.
How old is this?
Wow.
I made it at the end of August.
That's right. I mean, I feel like it's almost like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost veering towards like a Parmesan
Yeah,
kind of a
it's
dryness.
it's flaky rather than cheddary. I don't know. It didn't work according to directions. Like when you read your cheese making instructions and then you read like the New England cheese making instructions, it's quite different.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not really giving like, directions
Well,
to make specific styles
But
of
that's
cheese very much.
but that's what I like because it's like it's less daunting to like.
Yeah, that's not much.
Is there a ceramic studio here?
Yeah.
For the beards.
There is.
Oh, we should make it.
Yeah, I mean, get some ceramic students to like, throw you some
You
props.
just need a bigger equipment. So that's what I have.
It's a good idea.
What do you make? Just like a big pot?
Yeah, big like.
Well, it doesn't have to be giant. You got to start. You got to develop your technique on 1 gallon sizes, and then then maybe you can scale it up.
I could help, yeah.
This
I've
is
been
like-
brewing beer for like a year now.
This This is like the nicest crock you can get.
Oh, did you have this?
I have that one.
You have that one. It's like $500.
Oh no, mine was not $500. Never mind.
What was that kind of a crock?
Like a really nice crock.
Oh, that was like handmade? Or?
Yeah, I don't. My friend. It was like my friend's mom pulled it out of her garage, and I was like, yeah, it was super exciting being able to find that. So I don't exactly know where it came from, but there's some old writing on it that I think it was made in like San Francisco.
So one thing about old crocks is sometimes it's just good to like get a lead testing kit and just test the lead, just test the glaze and make sure it's not a lead-based glaze, because a lot of the crocks from 100 years ago, they were using lead-based glazes that I mean, it's like for people who are fully grown, it's not a huge issue, but like, for anything that's going to be for like, kids with developing brains, it's...
That's scary.
So, the contemporary stuff, no one's using lead-based glazes, in food-grade things, but some of the old ones, they didn't know that.